It was 3 years ago this month that the United States completed its withdrawal from Afghanistan. Reason enough for Tracy Smith to take us to a spot in California known as the Rug Mine.
Every morning, Nargis Habib and her family have the same routine. Making breakfast.
Morning.
Packing lunches.
Are you ready?
A hug and kiss from Dad, then off to school. An ordinary day that we all tend to take for granted.
Oh, that's cute.
Do you get in that mode, because I know I do as a mom, where you kind of lose perspective about how lucky you are?
Bye. Have a good day at school.
Our minds are so occupied with everyday things, the routine, being so busy that you forget that it's actually a privilege.
Look at all these.
But she has a reminder every time she steps into her garage.
Okay, I would say like 400, 500, 1,000.
It's filled with rugs from her home country, a memory from when she was a little girl.
You grew up surrounded by rugs.
Absolutely.
Nargis grew up in 1990s Taliban-controlled Afghanistan when girls were barred from school. But she and her sisters took classes, hiding in a basement, seated on piles of Afghan rugs.
We were all around a teacher in a dark basement, studying in fear and secret. But it was the rugs that gave us that warmth and coziness and home feeling.
In 2001, the U.S. invaded Afghanistan and kicked out the Taliban. But when the U.S. withdrew in 2021, the Taliban came back into power. By then, Nargis had immigrated to America, but her mother, brother, and younger sister remained there. For the safety of Nargis's family, we cannot show their faces. Her sister was studying to become a doctor. That dream is all but impossible now.
Girls from 1st to 6th grade can attend school, but after 6th grade, they must stop and stay at home.
Adita Arya is the executive director of the Afghan Literacy Foundation, an NGO that has helped more than 3,000 Afghan families send their kids to school. But with more than half the population in danger of starvation, she says education becomes a casualty for girls and boys.
If you don't have enough food on the table, literacy just goes out the door. You're just trying to survive from one day to the next. So a lot of these families are saying, no school for you, help me find food.
Today, more than 1 million children in Afghanistan, some as young as 6 years old, are working.
Little boys are saying, can you please help me because I'm going to be sent to the unforgiven streets of Kabul to work. We have others reporting that their teenage sisters will be married off for the dowry money or to be able to feed the rest of the family at an early age. Families are making devastating choices in order to guarantee their survival on a daily basis.
Just to feed their kids.
Just to be able to feed their kids. Yeah.
And with the Taliban restricting women from working and leaving their homes, their options are even more dire.
The women that don't have a man to support them or don't have sons to support them, they're starving. And so now these women have to find sources of work within the confines of their homes.
They're beautiful.
This is where Nargis and her rugs come in. She started buying rugs from female artisans in Afghanistan.
Oh, wow, look at the colors.
And selling them out of her garage in San Diego. She called the business the Rug Mine. The hope is a centuries-old Afghan tradition might help solve today's problems.
From the comfort of their homes, they're making rugs, and they're getting paid for that.
Nargis has a contract with each of her artisans that they're paid above the fair and livable wage for their work. In return, they promise not to employ child workers.
How much of a difference can getting a job making rugs do for a woman or a family in Afghanistan?
It makes a huge difference. It provides them financial freedom. Now, if they can't send their daughters to school, at least they're able to send their sons to school.
Now 4 years old, the Rug Mine has worked with over 4,000 female Afghan artisans and has paid them over $500,000. The company sells more than 600 rugs a year and now has a showroom where you can see their ancient handiwork up close.
These colors are gorgeous.
The rugs sell for as low as $100 to as high as $11,000. Each rug can take 3 to 5 months to make. The thread is spun, naturally dyed with fruits and vegetables, woven and tied into thousands of tiny knots.
And each of these knots is hand-tied.
Yeah.
The rugs are then washed. The backside burned to get the sheen just right. It's a painstaking process with a beautiful result. Nargis went back to Afghanistan last summer to hand deliver a pay bonus to each of her artisans. Her daughters came with her and answered questions from other girls their age.
They asked my daughters if they're allowed to go to school. And when I saw those girls, it reminded me of me and my sisters. It truly broke my heart for those young girls.
You obviously can't change that.
No.
But do you feel like in some way what you're doing makes a difference?
If I'm changing a family's life by paying them just a little bit more, then they're able to change their kid's life. With the little changes here and there, it makes a huge difference in Afghanistan.